Yo, man, what's good, YouTube, man? It's your boy, Mickal, aka Mr. Napier Bummer. Today's video, man, we got female cop gets fired after doing this. If you guys are new, man, hit that like button, subscribe, and share, man. We're on the road to 1,000 subs, man. Let's get into this video.
Firearms, and is brought to us by Lackluster's channel. Be sure to check out the description below and give them the credit that they did.
Shout out to, I'm saying, him right here, adult, I'm saying the adult, you know what I'm saying? Go sub to him. He's a good channel, you know what I'm saying? And go sub to Lackluster too.
Deserve. On May 9th, 2023, Palm Beach Gardens, Florida resident Ryan Gold was swimming laps in his apartment complex's pool when another resident by the name of Anna Ivanova approached him and requested that he swim in the opposite direction. Mr. Gold refused to change his course, and after Mr. Gold and Ms. Ivanova collided in the pool, a verbal altercation ensued. Ms. Ivanova called her husband, Benedetto Salvia, who arrived at the pool, and after continuing the verbal dispute, Mr. Salvia lifted his shirt to reveal that a firearm was tucked into the front of his pants. Mr. Gold called 911 to report the incident and waited in the parking lot in front of the pool for officers to arrive. Officer Bethany Guerriero of the Palm Beach Gardens Police Department responded and approached Mr. Gold in the parking lot along with another officer.
Wait, y'all, is in Florida, is Florida open carry? Is Florida open carry or is it not? Hey, can y'all let me down below if in Florida is open carry or no?
Come in, how you doing? Keep hands out your pockets for me.
I'm not the one with the gun.
Sir, I don't keep your hands out of your pockets. Put the phone
I
down.
haven't done a crime. Don't talk to me like
Listen
that.
to me. I don't know you.
Listen,
you can put
I
that
don't
down.
know you. You're the one with the gun. Why
Get down on the ground now. Get down on the ground.
this?
Get down on the ground.
What the?
I told you not
That's
to reach for anything.
I haven't committed a crime. You don't have any.
Hands out to your
I
side
haven't
now.
committed a crime.
Now you put your hands behind your back.
You can't get me for what?
Yes, I can.
For what?
I don't know you.
I don't know you. You're the ones with guns. Yeah, you're arresting me for nothing.
I'm detaining you right
That's
now.
fine. You're detaining me for what crime?
Because you don't want to listen.
That's not a crime.
That's not a crime.
Are your body cams on?
Yes, they sure
Good.
are.
That's not a crime. What crime did he commit? He's probably the one that called the cops. To be honest, maybe it was him. If he's out there, he's probably one that called the cops. He's saying he's not the one with the gun. I mean, what crime did he commit? What crime did he really commit? Like, he didn't do anything. Well, like, why is she
I called you
tripping?
guys for help because this guy's brandishing a
Yeah, I
gun.
told you.
When Officer Guerriero approaches Mr. Gold, she tells him to keep his hands out of his pockets. Mr. Gold informs her that he is not the one with the gun, then reaches into his pocket to pull out his cell phone. Officer Guerriero then ordered him to keep his hands out of his pockets again, and when Mr. Gold verbally protested, she pointed her firearm at him, ordered him to get on the ground, and
crazy.
handcuffed him, despite the fact that he did not reach for his pockets again. And surveillance footage of the encounter clearly shows that at the time Officer Guerriero pulled out her firearm, Mr. Gold was backing away from her with his hands clearly at his sides. Courts generally recognize three different so-called levels of encounters between the
That's
police
some
and
bullshit right
citizenry.
there.
Consensual encounters, temporary investigative detentions, or Terry stops, and formal arrests. As the 3rd District Court of Appeal of Florida outlined in the 1996 case of Saturnino Bode versus State, quote, "In the consensual encounter, an officer may question anyone on the street without founded suspicion. On the other hand," now quoting again, "a Terry stop is permissible if the detention is temporary and reasonable under the circumstances, and only if the police officer has a well-founded suspicion that the individual detained has committed, is committing, or is about to commit a crime."
Exactly. Nigga, they commit no crime. Nigga. They commit no crime. Damn. He sat there until the police officer, who was being nice and respectful, said, he's not the one with the gun. And I literally said, he's probably the one that called the cops because he's the one out there. So he's probably the one that called the cops.
While an arrest requires an
How
officer
the
to
hell you call the cops and you still get detained?
have
Like,
probable
what?
cause to believe that the person arrested has committed a crime. Although the encounter between Officer Guerriero and Mr. Gold should have been of a consensual nature, since he had called the police for help as a potential victim, and there was no reason to believe that he had committed a crime, it is possible that a court could determine that Officer Guerriero had the reasonable suspicion necessary to conduct a
Because he
Terry
reached-
stop under the so-called mistake of fact doctrine,
because he reached
because
his
she
pocket.
later articulated that she believed Mr. Gold was the individual who had a gun. As the Supreme Court explained in the 2014 case of Hine versus North Carolina, since the Fourth Amendment only prohibits unreasonable seizures, quote, "A seizure may be permissible even though the justification for the action includes a reasonable factual mistake." Now, while it is questionable whether Officer Guerriero's mistake was quote-unquote reasonable, as Mr. Gold indicated that he did not have a gun, officers are not required to believe everything that citizens tell them, and it is certainly
true.
possible that a court could conclude conclude that Officer Guerrero
true.
had reasonable suspicion to detain Mr. Gold due to her factual mistake. However, even if Officer Guerrero was within her authority to conduct a Terry stop, a court would likely find that her conduct exceeded the constitutionally permissible scope of the detention. It is well established that police action that exceeds the scope of an investigatory...
The thing is, didn't the dude say, like, didn't he call the cop and say, like, the dude had, like, the gun in his waist right here? Like, in his, you know what I'm saying? Didn't he say that, or we don't know the details? Or unless he just said, oh, a guy out the pool has a gun and stuff like that.
Stop and becomes a full-blown, quote-unquote, de facto arrest is unconstitutional if it is not supported by probable cause. The 11th Circuit Court of Appeals, which has jurisdiction over Florida, determined in the 2004 case of U.S. versus Acosta that, quote, officers may take reasonable steps to ensure their safety so long as they possess an articulable and objectively reasonable belief that the suspect is potentially dangerous. And that, now quoting again, an investigatory stop does not necessarily ripen into an arrest because an officer draws his weapon, handcuffs a suspect, orders a suspect to lie face down on the ground, or secures a suspect in the back of a patrol car. Nonetheless, because Mr. Gold was not reaching into his pockets or behaving aggressively in any way at the time Officer Guerrero pulled out her firearm and pointed it at him, he would have a strong argument that she did not have an objectively reasonable belief that he was potentially dangerous, and therefore exceeded the permissible scope of a Terry stop and subjected him to an unconstitutional de facto arrest in the absence of probable cause.
Sit down. I didn't say get up. I said sit down.
Who the f*** is this? Where's your supervisor?
What? Wait, didn't she say sit up? Bro, why is she being, like, aggressive? Like, why is she being, like, rude and aggressive? Like, see, this is why people don't like cops, like, because niggas, bro, they just rude, like, yeah, like,
I'm getting
you're
one.
supposed to you're supposed to know what the situation is. You're supposed to calm it down. Now he's the person that just detained. He's gonna get riled up because you sitting there being rude and aggressive for no reason and yelling.
See how she's talking? I haven't done anything.
You don't.
Why am I in
listen.
handcuffs? I don't care. You're not my mom.
Because I'm
You're not
coming
my
here
dad.
for a gun.
That's fine. I don't have a gun. I haven't committed a crime.
And when I told you to keep your hands out of your pockets,
You're not
you did
my.
it.
I didn't commit a crime. You don't get to tell me what to do.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't. Why are you yelling at me?
Because I have every
Who
right to
are
right
you?
now.
What's your badge number?
321 Guerrero, Guerrero. Make sure you spell it right.
If you're this scared of a guy in a
I've been here
swimsuit,
for 20 years.
you're terrified of a guy in a swimsuit. I didn't do anything.
You can shut your mouth now.
They just detained me. I explained. There's no gun. That guy
I don't
has a gun.
detain anybody for no reason.
Then what reason?
Because I
What
told you
crime
to
did I commit for you to detain
shut
me?
your mouth so I can explain it to
Are you in charge of this lady? Why am I in handcuffs on the ground? Are you a supervisor?
No, he's not.
Can someone explain why I'm handcuffed on that?
Shut your mouth
No.
so I can talk to you?
Look at you. You're furious. What did I do?
You did not listen.
You're not my boss.
Listen to me.
I don't need to listen to you.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't. She doesn't get to detain me.
Yes, I do.
Pull her gun on me.
Because when you
Put
put
me on
your
the ground.
hands in your pocket and
I
I
didn't
get a
commit a
phone call
crime.
of a
I don't
gun,
care.
you
You're
don't
that
wanna
terrified?
listen.
You shouldn't be a cop if you're that terrified.
I've been here for 20.
See, he has a point though. He has a point. Like, you that terrified of a dude that has no gun, nothing? You that no. Hey, he is right. If a cop pulls a gun like this and say, come on now, one of them, they probably is terrified. But the one thing is they have a gun and have a badge, so anything happens to them, they get justice because, you know, saying that they work for the government and shit like that.
Years, punk.
Yeah, here. Go somewhere real. You're terrified of Palm Beach
know what?
Garden.
Do
Are
me
you
a
a
favor.
supervisor? Can you ask this lady why I'm in handcuffs? Tell her what crime
I keep
I've
trying
committed.
to tell you,
Go
and
ahead,
you want
what
to keep
crime?
talking over me.
What crime?
I get called here because
Crime.
someone is.
What's suspicion?
You don't need to be in crime.
Yes, I do. To detain me, you need suspicion of a crime.
No, you do not.
Yes, you do.
You do.
You don't know the law? Please explain it to them.
not.
You cannot just go around detaining random people.
Can you calm down for a second?
I'm in handcuffs
Can you calm
now.
down? Obviously, we're not
Can I
getting
stand
anywhere.
up? I'll calm down if I can stand up. What
I'm
did
in
I do?
charge, not you.
No, you're not.
And you blue nail polish, cute.
Okay.
No,
I'm not gonna do it.
Down.
What did I
Stay the
do?
down, all right?
What?
Right now, all I need you for you to do is keep your mouth shut.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm not gonna do it. Arrest me.
You are
Yeah,
arrested.
I want you. Okay, arrest me.
You're
Go ahead, take me to jail.
Resisting. I am
Go
gonna
ahead,
take
take
you
me to jail.
Oh no! Resisting? Resisting? Where the fuck was he resisting? You just said he was being detained. What is he talking about? she said he was being detained. Now she's saying he's resisting. Where was he resisting? What?
Take me to jail right now. Take me to jail.
Oh, I will.
Do it. I'm ready.
going to.
Okay, I'm ready. Let's go.
What's your name, dude?
Excuse me.
What's your name? What's your
Allow
name?
me to stand
What's
up
your
and
name?
No.
Negative. Doesn't work that way.
Okay. Tell me what crime I'm here for.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
You
You're under arrest.
For what crime?
You have to give your name. You're already on the
That's fine. What crime
Don't
though?
worry. She already told you.
She's already got
Resisting arrest is a
resisting.
secondary
We gotta add on
charge.
more.
That's a secondary charge.
It's not a secondary.
Take me to jail.
You are going to jail. Don't
Okay,
worry
let's
about
go.
it. I got you.
Let's go.
The officers inform Mr. Gold that he will be arrested for resisting, and Mr. Gold argues that resisting arrest is a so-called secondary charge. In order to fully understand the legal principles in play, we must address the distinction between state statutes that criminalize resisting arrest and laws that simply prohibit, quote-unquote, resisting an officer. In some states, the applicable statute only forbids resisting the specific act of arrest, in which case resisting would be considered a so-called secondary charge to the offense, precipitating the underlying arrest. However, in other states, such as Florida, resisting can be a standalone charge, as the statute merely criminalizes so-called resisting an officer in the performance of their duties, and does not necessarily require the resistance to be in response to an arrest.
Okay.
Under Section 843.02 of the Florida statutes, quote, whoever shall resist, obstruct, or oppose any officer in the lawful execution of any legal duty without offering or doing violence to the person of the officer shall be guilty of a misdemeanor of the first degree. Courts have generally determined that in some situations, individuals can be convicted of resisting for refusing to comply with a police officer's lawful order. For example, in the 2022 case of Senko versus Jackson, the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of Florida stated that this statute, quote, authorizes arrest for knowingly obstructing an officer in the performance of his duties, including by refusing to obey a police officer's lawful command. However, in the 2010 case of Stamos versus Brown, the same court determined that an officer did not have arguable probable cause to arrest an individual who initially did not comply with an officer's orders to back away, but then began to step back after subsequent orders. In this instance, while Mr. Gold did not comply with Officer Guerriero's initial order to keep his hands out of his pockets, he reached into his pocket for his phone after providing the mitigating information that he was not the one who had the gun, and seemed to believe that he had alleviated.
He was probably bringing his phone to show them that he's the one that actually called the cops. Okay, like, yo, to my Napa squad, y'all let me know down below. Do y'all really think, do y'all think he committed a crime? 'Cause I don't think he committed, what crime did he commit? Person is saying, she said he was being detained. And now it was saying resisting, and now he's being arrested.
Mediated her concerns. Once it became clear that Officer Guerriero still wanted him to keep his hands out of his pockets, he complied with this order. As such, it is highly likely that a court would conclude that Mr. Gold's conduct in retrieving his phone from his pocket did not rise to the level of knowingly resisting, obstructing, or opposing Officer Guerriero.
There's your supervisor right
That's
there.
fine. I'm ready to go to jail. Take me.
You're going to go. Trust
Is your
me.
body camera on, sir?
All our body cameras are on.
Perfect.
He came out here. Me and Strzelecki rolled up. He's got his hands in his pocket, and I go, bro, take your hands out of your pocket, right? And then when he didn't, he goes and pulls the phone out, and he goes to put it back. I said, keep your hands out of your pocket. And I drew down on him. I drew down on him.
Okay.
That guy.
Has anybody talked to...
Not yet, because Mike came running out. Joe went running out. I'm over here literally by myself with this f***ing guy.
All right. Are you okay to go talk to her?
Yes.
Insulting me, threatening me. So, I had to call my husband.
You wish to tell me what happened here today so I can have a better understanding?
Yeah, I mean, my wife called me. She called me and said that there was a guy harassing her at the pool.
Okay. Was it that guy over there?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I just ran over here. He's obviously a lot bigger than me. And I didn't, want to get involved. I was trying to pull my wife away. And she just got closer.
At what point did the gun become involved? Well, how did he know that you were armed?
I'm not sure.
You told that other officer that you put your hands up like this so that
my wife said that.
Wait, hold on. The dude that got arrested was the one with the gun? Hold on. Do not tell me the dude that got arrested was the gun and I'm the one that's... Hold on.
I know it didn't come out of the holster or anything like that.
No, I didn't say it came out, but how was he able to know that you were armed? Because he called us and said that you were armed.
I mean, if I lift my shirt up, you could see it.
Okay.
But,
so did you want him to see that you were armed? Did you tell him you were armed?
I don't think so. No.
Oh, I'm so dumb. You can see it right here. You can see it right here. Oh, he's okay. That's the husband.
Contrast to the two conflicting stories that Mr. Salvia told the officers, the surveillance footage from the pool clearly shows that he approached Mr. Gold, stood directly in front of him, and raised his shirt to display the firearm that was concealed in the front of his pants. According to Section 790.10 of the Florida statute, which codifies the offense of improper exhibition of dangerous weapons or firearms, quote, if any person having or carrying any dirk, sword, sword cane, firearm, electric weapon or device, or other weapon shall, in the presence of one or more persons, exhibit the same in a rude, careless, angry, or threatening manner, not in necessary self-defense, the person so offending shall be guilty of a misdemeanor of the first degree. Now, while it is nearly unquestionable based on the security footage that Mr. Salvia displayed his firearm to Mr. Gold in a rude, careless, angry, or threatening manner, he would not be guilty of a criminal offense if he did so in quote-unquote necessary self-defense. However, under Section 776.012 of the Florida statutes, an individual is only justified in using or threatening to use force against another, quote, when and to the extent that the person reasonably believes that such conduct is necessary to defend himself or herself or another against the other's imminent use of unlawful force. Now, while
Bro, you know what's so crazy, y'all? I was so like right when I'm talking about it, I'm like, wait, don't tell me the dude that caught the cops is the one that really had the gun, but he didn't.
the surveillance footage clearly shows that Mr. Gold was engaged in a heated verbal exchange with Mr. Salvia and Ms. Ivanova. He made no physically threatening actions and remained a safe distance away from the couple. And it was Mr. Salvia who approached Mr. Gold and then raised his shirt to display his firearm. Accordingly, a court would almost certainly conclude that Mr. Salvia was not acting in necessary self-defense against an imminent use of force by Mr. Gold.
Okay, so we spoke with that gentleman. Okay, I spoke to him. I'm trying to understand exactly what happened again. Can you explain to me from your perspective what happened?
He started screaming, he started getting closer, he started calling up his fists.
So he's walking towards you?
Yes.
Okay.
My wife got closer to him, and I tried to insert myself in between them.
Okay.
So at that point, we were maybe like 4 or 5 feet apart.
Okay. At what point in time did you pull up your shirt?
Somewhere in there. I really am not comfortable saying anymore. I'm so hazy in my memory that I don't want to say the wrong thing. Can I wait till I have a lawyer?
Sure, absolutely.
We just wanted to give you the opportunity because we're going to look at those cameras and we just want to make sure that what we're going to watch matches what you're saying.
Well, I mean, I'm telling you, I lifted my shirt up.
At any point during your encounter with him, did you inform him that you were armed?
I mean, I think that was informing him that I was armed.
Wait, didn't this dude say that the dude originally that called the cops was approaching his wife? Is he talking about when the girl was at the pool, or is he talking about when?
By lifting up your shirt?
Yes.
Okay, we'll leave it there. We'll leave it there. You already asked for a lawyer. We'll leave it there.
Yeah, I was going to say either you hold him or you file, but we have a weapon and it was used in a crime.
Well, we'll take the weapon.
What are you going to take the weapon for?
Right now, pending the outcome of this investigation.
So then I would go with that then. Take him for the resist without.
Yeah. What do you think, Beth?
And then you can let him know, hey, we're taking your firearm, pending the outcome of this investigation. But
I feel like at this point they both deserve to go, and I'll tell you why.
Officer Guerriero turned off her body camera for the remainder of the encounter and was later taken to the hospital from the apartment complex in an ambulance after her heart rate spiked and she complained of chest pains. Mr. Gold was transported to jail, but several hours later, after Sergeant Dennis Beath reviewed the surveillance footage from the apartment complex, he called another officer and ordered him to get Mr. Gold out of jail immediately. Mr. Gold was then released before he was processed and without any criminal charges being filed against him. According to a probable cause affidavit written by Officer Michael Valerio, because the officers could not immediately access the surveillance footage, they seized Mr. Salvia's firearm, bullets, magazine, and holster pending the outcome of this investigation, and then released Mr. Salvia and Ms. Ivanova. However, after the officers reviewed the surveillance footage, they determined that probable cause existed to arrest Mr. Salvia, and on May 12, 2023, he was charged with improper exhibition of a dangerous weapon. Court records show that Mr. Salvia participated in a pretrial diversion program, and on May 26, 2023, the charge charge was dismissed after Mr. Salvia took gun safety and anger management classes and paid for the costs of prosecution. Immediately following the encounter, Mr. Gold filed several complaints with the Palm Beach Gardens PD, triggering an internal affairs investigation 1 day after his arrest. On August 25th, 2023, Chief Clint Shannon announced that Officer Guerriero was fired after the investigation determined that she...
Damn, she got fired, and she said she'd been there 20 years. Damn. I mean, because she'd arrested the dude for no really reason. He didn't commit a crime. She wasn't telling him what crime he committed. She didn't tell him because she knows she fucked up. She knows she messed up. She couldn't even tell the dude what crime he committed because he didn't commit a crime. I mean, you gonna get a what? Resisting arrest? Was he really resisting arrest?
She violated several department policies in her conduct toward Mr. Gold. According to Officer Guerriero's personnel file, she had been with the department for over 19 years and made $101,000 annually. She later told a reporter that, quote, "Being in this job as long as we all have, we have moments throughout our careers that weren't our best. Was it my finest hour? Absolutely not." It is also reported that Officer Guerriero planned to appeal her termination through arbitration. As a result of the altercation with Officer Guerriero, Mr. Gold decided to move back to Chicago and told a reporter that he never wanted to return to Palm Beach Gardens. He also informed reporters that he is considering filing a lawsuit, and Lackluster stated at the end of his video that there was, quote-unquote, quite a bit of news regarding Mr. Gold's next actions, but Mr. Gold was limited in what he could share just yet. Overall, Officer Guerriero gets an F for unreasonably pointing her firearm at an unarmed and unaggressive citizen who had just been threatened with a gun, arresting...
Exactly. He's the one that called the cops because he's the one that's been threatened with a gun. He goes outside to wait for the cops. Then he's the one that's getting detained. Now it's saying arrested. Now it's saying she's saying that he resisted. I don't think he resisted. He committed no crime. So, I mean, of course you deserve to get fired because you're being rude, disrespectful. And then that was him. That was dude that got detained and arrested. Now he's being rude and disrespectful back because as a cop, we're supposed to calm down.
Mr. Gold when there was likely no probable cause to do so, and blatantly misrepresenting the facts of the situation in order to justify her actions. As Mr. Gold pointed out, Officer Guerriero seemed to be terrified by the idea of a gun being present at the scene. And although fear of the deadly nature of firearms is certainly an understandable human reaction, individuals who cannot behave reasonably and constitutionally when responding to encounters involving guns simply do not have the temperament necessary to be law enforcement officers. In order to be effective in their positions, officers must be able to regulate their fear and anger and respond to situations in a proportional and intentional manner, which Officer Guerriero clearly failed to do here. Additionally, while I applaud the Palm Beach Gardens PD for terminating Officer Guerriero, I question why the other officers involved in Mr. Gold's arrest were not disciplined, as they did nothing to stop Officer Guerriero's overly aggressive behavior and assisted in arresting Mr. Gold without probable cause, with one officer even pointing his taser at Mr. Gold when Officer Guerriero drew her firearm. As Mr. Gold told a reporter when arguing that Officer Guerriero's firing was not enough, quote, "There were many officers there that day that participated in this. It was not just this one woman." Mr. Gold gets an A, because although he did not comply with Officer Guerriero's initial order to keep his hands out of his pockets, this seemed to be the result of a misunderstanding rather than a willful act of defiance, and he took steps to oppose Officer Guerriero's unlawful conduct by verbally challenging her actions during the stop and filing complaints afterward. Mr. Gold has also sought to bring public attention to the misconduct in this incident and has been vocal in calling for higher levels of reform in the Palm Beach Gardens PD other than just simply firing Officer Guerriero. I commend Mr. Gold for his willingness to stand up for his rights, even in the face of multiple officers engaging in questionable conduct, and would encourage him to pursue a lawsuit if he's not already doing so. Let us know if there is an interaction or legal topic that you...
Anyways, man, that's gonna wrap up the video, man. That was a good video, man. Let me know what y'all think down in the comments down below, man. You know what I'm saying? It's been your boy Mickal. I'm out.